Hey, Classic Joey Mac here. Today I wanted to share a story because I think that there's people out there that either could relate or would find comfort in my story. There's a lot of topics out there that are uncomfortable, and they are especially uncomfortable when you're younger or, I don't know, not as experienced in certain areas. We all go through those because we have to. They make us better people. We learn from them. We can look back and laugh at them sometimes, but we have to go through certain things when we get older. I mean, I'm 29, and things that happened to me 10, 20, 25 years ago have shaped who I am today. The story that I'd like to share is about the first time that I had to buy condoms alone. Now, why is that something that I would ever put out there on the internet? Because some people would feel uncomfortable doing that, and I was one of them. I don't even know why. Even to this day, I don't know why. And I haven't had to buy a box of condoms for years. Not that anyone needed to know that, I guess, but it's just one of those things that it is awkward. It's uncomfortable at times. Now, the first time that I bought condoms alone, this is alone too. This isn't just buying condoms, you know. Condoms themselves are just, it's almost like embarrassing to say them. Even now when I say them, like, you know, there's certain words where you just sort of like, there's a flutter in your stomach. I'm sitting here alone in my bedroom, and I'm saying the word condoms over and over again, and I'm like looking over my shoulder. It's hilarious. And I don't care what people think, but there is something about it. There's something about the experience. The first time I was alone, I remember getting a call. It was actually, again, buying condoms alone is so different than buying them with someone else or whatever. So I remember my wife had called, and she wasn't my wife, obviously, at the time, my girlfriend. I remember we were going to have a weekend together, I believe, and we talked about, you know, pick up condoms on the way. And I remember getting off the phone with her, and I'm just like, I've never bought condoms alone in my life. I always had someone else there. I always had, you know, the girlfriend there. It never even dawned on me until I literally hung up the phone. And it seems strange, but, you know, it's just different. It's just different. And it's funny how sometimes life just presents those type of situations. Like, you're so used to buying them with someone else, and then all of a sudden you're alone. I mean, I don't know how many times I bought condoms before that, but it was the first time I had bought them alone. It was just strange. So the only place that was in between me and where my wife was, or my girlfriend, was a supermarket. And I believe it was Giant. I want to say it was Giant. And the reason that I went to Giant, yes, it was. The reason I went to Giant was because I thought they had self-checkout machines. That one did not have a self-checkout machine. I remember going in, getting the condoms, and I realized that there wasn't a self-checkout. Now, this was later at night, too. This was, I don't remember if I was coming back from work or not. Shit, I don't remember. I was coming back from somewhere. It was definitely a Friday night. But it was late, though. That's the part I do remember. It had to be like after 7 or 8 o'clock. And there was like 1 or 2 registers. And there was this one guy, and I panicked. I'm like, shit. I mean, I don't want to be that guy. I didn't want to be that guy that like just buys a box of condoms alone. I know that sounds ridiculous, but that's what you think. And like, everyone's built differently. So we all have our different triggers, I guess. And I'm about as confident as there is out there. I could talk to anyone. I don't care what people think of me. I found it hilarious even that night of, why am I finding it so embarrassing to buy box of condoms. It just seems strange. So, in a panic, I knew, like, I'm not, first of all, I needed to get condoms. I wasn't going anywhere else. There was really nowhere else to go that was nearby that was going to be open. It might have been later in the night, to be honest. Now I think about it. I think my options were fairly limited. And I don't, this might have been a 24-hour giant, now that I'm sitting here thinking of it. And I just remember, I'm like, I gotta get something else. I gotta get something else. I was tired of wasting time. We had a weekend to ourselves, you know, and here I am standing in the middle of like an aisle, like pacing back and forth because I wasn't sure what to do. And so finally I panicked. I passed, you know, at the top of every aisle, they always have like displays of something. I grabbed a box of Lucky Charms. I grabbed a box of Lucky Charms with my condoms, went up to the register. And the guy there, he was a younger guy at the time. I don't know how old I was, but he was probably, I wasn't a teenager. He was probably a teenager, probably just a few years younger than me. I remember him ringing me up, and he just had this like wry smile across his face. Like, who the hell is buying a box of Lucky Charms and a box of condoms? Like, who does that? And I don't know. I just panicked. I don't know why. I thought that was a good idea. I just remember looking at his face and just he had that like grin. And I paid for it. Left. I got into the car. I just started laughing to myself. And I just think it's one of these interesting stories that happened in my life. And I think we all go through them. But to me, I just think that is one of those experiences that I mean, look, some people can just walk right into a store, no thought, just get their condoms and leave. It's fine. I mean, it's cool. I think any time after that, I could care less at that point. It was like a running joke, though, with me and my wife, where I would just keep buying boxes of Lucky Charms every time I bought condoms as like a joke. But I don't know. It's just one of those stories. So I would say this. I mean, if you're watching this, and especially if you're younger, and you've never bought condoms before, or you have and you have an embarrassing story, just know that you're not alone. I mean, we all go through these really silly, just silly experiences, but you can laugh on them. You know, you can laugh when you look back at them. What did I learn? I mean, I guess I learned that it really doesn't matter. It's who the hell's going to judge you? The register guy, he probably had a good laugh with it, and probably was doing some underage drinking that night and told a bunch of stories. I mean, about me buying condoms and Lucky Charms. I mean, it's sort of funny. But it's just one of those things that I can look back on and be like, you know, what an awkward experience, I guess. You know what I mean? But it's like you know, I guess after you do it once, you build some sort of confidence. You learn from that experience. You move on. I don't know. Why is it important? I don't know. It just is. It just is to me. I don't know. There's like 10,000 experiences that you go through in your life, and you probably forget half of them. But this was just one of those times where it's like, I always thought I could come on here. I could come on like a media like this and share it. Share it. As embarrassing as it may sound. I don't know if it's embarrassing or not, but I'm sure some people are watching this and laughing. I'm sure some people are nodding in approval. Like, you know, hey, I feel your pain. I've done that. You know, or maybe this is what I'm really doing this for. The people that have never had to do that. And I would say to you that there's nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with playing it safe. And there's no reason to be embarrassed, you know, going out and getting it. Typically, when you're buying your first box of condoms alone, again, I don't want this isn't the first time I've had to buy condoms. It's alone. It's different. It's just, there's no one to be, you know what I mean? It's just that time. Like, typically, when you're buying your first box of condoms, you're usually a younger girl or guy. And typically when that's happening, there's a lot on your mind, probably. You know, a lot of different emotions, a lot of different feelings, and you're not experienced generally enough to deal with them in a rational moment. You might do something idiotic, like grab a box of sugary cereal with a leprechaun on it. Well, I don't know. But the point is that it's just one of those things you have to go through. One of those sort of silly little situations that comes up, and laugh on it, get through it. I don't know. You do it once, it's sort of like a confidence builder. You do it once and you just do it over again. So, I'm sure that some people might have bent under pressure. I don't know how other people are, and I don't know if I'm making a bigger deal out of it than I really should. But I wanted to share that story, and I wanted to at least let some people know. First of all, I think it's a funny story, but second of all, phone's ringing.